Well boys, we did it. We listened to every single Disciple song, and now that the video is out, I get to sit back and relax, maybe go on a break. Nope, I listened to every single Disciple Roundtable song in one night, and this is the next video. So yeah, I don't know what subjected me to make myself listen to 200 songs, or if I should be specific, there's actually 201 songs on Disciple. Now I should clarify, as of right before the volume 3 of Nights at the Roundtable, I decided I didn't want to wait until this entire album was going to come out, considering that the first one actually had 22 releases in it and we're probably at like the 7th or 8th. So for consistency's sake, this is up until Shib's Crust and Jelly EP. Before we get into it, I'm gonna go over some patch notes. I saw some people correcting me on a couple of things that I got wrong in the previous video, and though I think they're pretty minor, I do feel like I should go and clarify them anyways. The first thing I'm gonna note is that apparently there's 7 solo remixes, not 5. The second thing is that Oliver's actually has 3 remixes and not 2. And the last thing is actually a double thing. Apparently the LP that I mentioned from Virtual Riot was not from Create Classics, but from another label called Section Z Records. I'm not 100% sure about that one though, because as noted, it was on Beatport, so unless there was a distribution error or maybe there was a name change at some point within the past couple years, there is that. And then there was also that I might have missed a couple remixes, but at least as far as I was concerned, I might have missed them, as apparently there might be some on Beatport that are not listed on SoundCloud. So if there's any inconsistencies between those two platforms, that may have been where I gone wrong. Anyways, now that we're caught up on that, I guess we might as well just start talking about Disciple Roundtable. I'm going to do the same thing as I did with Disciple, where I actually read a small little description from a fan page wiki. This time I'm over at the EDM fandom wiki for Disciple Roundtable. So shoutouts to whoever wrote this. Disciple Roundtable was founded in September of 2017 by the recently signed artist 12th Planet. Its goal is to become a rhythm section of the Disciple label. Upon the creation of Disciple Roundtable, Never Say Die frontman Schism brought up arguments about how he believed that 12th Planet had created the label as a marketing campaign to create competition with Never Say Die's own sub-label, Never Say Die Black Label. Schism mentioned different arguments against the label, including by comparing art styles of covers, press photos, and by stating the definition of the word Disciple. 12th Planet then released a response letter stating that Disciple Records felt the need to expand and insisted that the creation of Disciple Roundtable wasn't a marketing campaign, while also admitting to the message Schism put out about Never Say Die helping Disciple Records get off the ground. So yeah, a pretty loaded history for Disciple Roundtable, considering that they've only been around for 2 years at this point. I was looking into the history and the drama that was brought up, and at least from what has been documented by a couple articles on the topic, it does seem so that Schism does have some points into their argument, though then again I don't really know the full history or context to everything. What I do say though, and what I will acknowledge though, is that at least from how it seems, Disciple acting as a competitor to Never Say Die is always a good thing. The reason I say that's a good thing is that competition always brings up innovation. Never Say Die and Never Say Die Black Label have been around for much longer than Disciple, and if Disciple can manage to, force competition to create a better marketing strategy, to create better merch, to create better music, I think that's always good. Even Schism acknowledges that though he might not like the people behind Disciple, he can acknowledge good music, giving compliments to Barely Alive, Virtual Riot, Ulasile, and Ivory. Anyways, I'm not going to go into that much more because I know that's not why you guys are here for, but what I will do is I will include a couple links in the description down below for anyone who wants to do their own research on the topic. So let's get into the meat. The very first release on Disciple Roundtable was a compilation very cleverly named Nights of the Roundtable Volume 1. I would say in a sense this was a mass migration of artists from Disciple coming over and releasing on Disciple Roundtable in a way to kind of boost up its presence and to, give it this big start off. It had tons of familiar artists and even a couple new ones that hadn't been featured on Disciple before. Following that was an EP by Dirt Monkey, which is an artist that I'd never heard of before, and I'd say that similar to Disciple, they started off by releasing just EPs. In fact, for the entirety of 2017, they only released EPs, including Shib's Flow Like EP, Monk's Turbo Dab EP, Mvrda Machines Can Cry EP, Infect Journey to Mars EP, and Samplifire's Misery EP. Going into 2018 brought in the first double-sided single from Mvrda, Very Important Plates, which for those of you who don't know, again is a reference to the A-side, B-side releases from when CDs or cassette tapes would have a different song on each side, or as I like to nickname them, double-sided singles, which are basically just 2 songs in one. 2018 also brought in the first single releases, bringing in the likes of Subantic's Get Weeded, Antiserum's On the Edge featuring Bach Nero, Lumberjack and Hive Mind's Metal Style, 12th Planet and Ulasal's Bongo Boy, and Pogman's Scorpion. We have yet to see any LPs released on Disciple Roundtable, and unlike Disciple, have yet to see any collaborations of any sort. Really, I don't see Disciple Roundtable doing any collaborations similar to the ones that were mentioned in the Disciple video. Considering that it is a sister label, I think they'd want to keep any big moves over on the main Disciple record label. So there's that. Last video we talked about a couple big numbers, and we're going to do the same thing in this video. As I mentioned at the start of this video, there are 201 releases, the very first release going to 12th Planet, Barely Live, and PhaseOne's Send It, and the 201st release going to Chibs and Ominous's Want Beef. Before I go any more into this video, I should premise that I'm probably going to mispronounce songs. Only until yesterday did I figure out that Ulasil is pronounced as it is and not Ulasil, though I mean, can you guys really blame me? I mean, it's not that bad. Anyways, I say that because the shortest song on Disciple Roundtable goes to JKYL and Hyde's Throwback, which is the only song on Disciple Roundtable under 2 minutes, coming in at 1 minute 58 seconds. On the other side of the spectrum, the longest song on Disciple Roundtable goes to Mvrda's Machines Can Cry, which comes in at 6 minutes and 54 seconds. Barely crossing the 7-minute mark, and also not the only song that comes in at above 6 minutes. The other songs being Samplifire's Travis at 6 minutes and 6 seconds, Mvrda's Alliance, which comes in at 6 minutes and 30 seconds, Samplifire and Mastodon's Earthquake, which comes in at 6 minutes and 34 seconds, and yeah, adding up all of the songs on Disciple Roundtable comes up to 771 minutes and 51 seconds of listening time. Or if you wanted to use a calculator, it comes around to 12 hours of listening time. So quite a listening marathon, but not necessarily impossible. A couple other fun statistics that I'm going to throw out of the way right now. In the year of 2017, which is where Disciple Roundtable started off, they released 51 songs in their first year. Considering the first year started in September, releasing 51 songs in the course of 4 months I think is a pretty solid haul. Going into 2018, they released 79 songs. And currently in the year of 2019, again before the third volume of Nights at the Round Table, they have released 71 songs. I'm anticipating that they're probably going to release 100 songs this year, but we have yet to see if that is to be the case. Couple more numbers, let's talk about the releases. So far, again, not including Knights of the Round Table Volume 3, they have only released 2 compilations, that being Knights of the Round Table Volume 1 and Knights of the Round Table Volume 2. They have released 5 double-sided singles, which I can name off right now, which is Mvrda Very Important Plates, Jansen's Bring It Back and Feel Alright, Lost and N-Type, The Hunter and USOs, Teddy Killer's On Lock and Icarus, and Infect's Rewind and Boombox. We have had 28 EPs, and we have had 10 singles. To me, the next part is actually one of the more interesting and fun parts. We're gonna go and talk about the individual artist statistics. The first statistic we're going to go over are artists that have featured and the number of times they have featured. I think the most interesting part about this statistic is actually that every artist that is featured on Disciple Roundtable has only been featured once. There have been 16 artists to individually feature, that being Vire Syndicate, Born Eye Music, Ronnie Canizaro, King Salomon, Snow White, Kid Bookie, Jogarot, Armani Rain, Leroy, General Jamaiki, Babylon System, Boo Boo, Bach Nero, Big Man Tyrone, yeah, Big Man Tyrone, Man 3 Faces, and Skis. More interestingly though is that there have actually been less remixes than there have been people who have featured on songs. That being only 5 artists have actually made a remix that has been released on Disciple Roundtable, and only 1 artist has released 2 remixes, the rest only releasing 1. Mvrda comes in as the victor with 2 remixes/VIPs, Infect comes in at 1 remix, Ricolai comes in at 1, Dak Daniels at 1, and Bar9 at 1. Interestingly enough, there have been more albums on Disciple Roundtable than there have been remixes and VIPs. The artist coming in at number 1 in albums goes to Infect with 4 albums, Chibs at 3 albums, Samplifire at 3, Mvrda at 2, and Answered at 2. The rest come in at 1, but because there aren't that many, I'll list them off anyways. Vire Syndicate, Bandlez, Hi I'm Ghost, Lost, Antiserum, Dirt Monkey, Adir, Subject 31, Uzi, Monks, JPhelpz, Code Pandorum, Trinergy, Figure, JKYL and Hyde, Natcha, and Subtronics have all released albums. Going over to singles, Infect yet again comes at the top with 25 individual singles on Disciple Roundtable. Coming in second comes Chivz with 19, Samplifire with 13, Mvrda with 10, Answered with 9, and Bandlez with 9. I'm not going to list off the rest, but I will include a screenshot so that you guys can read it. And the final statistic, and unsurprisingly again, comes Infect at number 1 with 26 appearances. Chivz comes in with 20, Samplifire with 13, Mvrda with 12, Answered with 9, Bandlez with 9, and the rest I will include with a screenshot. Unlike with Disciple, where every single category had their own sort of winner, and I would say no specific king of Disciple, I think it's fair to say that Infect does come out on top as being the king of Disciple Roundtable. Let's go on to the final set of statistics that I'm going to be bringing up with everyone. The average length of a song on Disciple Roundtable is 3 minutes and 50 seconds, which actually brings up 4 songs, that being Mvrda, Ball Liquor VIP, Adir Spellmaker, Answered Horus, and Stabby's Chain Protocol. Mega shout out to the homie Monster who supplied me with the keys and BPMs to Disciple Roundtable. It's because of him that I can tell you guys these statistics that are coming up. The most common BPM on Disciple Roundtable is 150 BPM. The second most common being 140, which comes in at 55 BPM. It shouldn't be surprising that because of this, the average BPM on Disciple Roundtable is rounded to 145 BPM. When it comes to keys, the most common key on Disciple Roundtable, again unsurprisingly, is F minor with 64 songs. Coming in second is E minor with 48, and then D sharp minor with 21 songs. 15 songs are in A minor, 13 songs are in D minor, 12 songs are in G minor, and then the rest are basically negligible. Interestingly enough, unlike Disciple, I'm unable to find the most quote-unquote average song, as there isn't a song that meets all the criteria of being average. Some more fun statistics though, the fastest song on Disciple Roundtable is actually 155 BPM. And the other funny thing is that there's only one song that is 155 BPM. There is no second fastest song because the second fastest song would be 150 BPM. The winner of the fastest song goes to Virtual Riot's Cry Some More. He basically just decided to be different, and because of that, basically by a narrow margin, won the title to the fastest track on Disciple Roundtable. The slowest track, on the other hand, actually comes in at 100 BPM, and that goes to Figure with his track Intergalactic. It's very interesting how a label dedicated to rhythm managed to sign a mid-tempo track. Other tracks that I would say also don't fit the label but were signed, Infect's Bliss is at 110 BPM, and Lost's Hands Up comes in at 130 BPM. There aren't any other songs that come off the top of my head that I would say don't fit the label, however there is one that I do remember that actually was from Monks. More specifically, Monks and Leia's 21 Questions seems like a bit of a chill out track. Maybe not necessarily chill out, but if you guys listen to it, I would say that it's fair to say that, at least on my part, that it's quite an ambient track and not necessarily, well in any case, even close to rhythm. And yeah, I mean I guess that's where this video basically ends. Nope, sorry, there's actually one more statistic that I realized I forgot to include, and the only reason I decided that I wanted to include it is because Disciple Roundtable is 3 artists away from hitting 100 artists that have been signed to Disciple Roundtable. Who the 100th artist is going to be? Only time will tell. But yeah, that basically wraps up the Disciple saga. Some final housekeeping items that I'm going to go over before I end off this video. I read every single comment on the previous video, and I'm glad to see that a lot of you were really invested, and not only invested, but giving me a bunch of really good label ideas of labels that I should listen to. NCS, Lowly, Firepower Records, Never Say Die Black Label, 99 Lives, Cannibalin, Diversity, Odio, Osala, Liquicity, Heroic, Tasty, and Dirty Works are all just labels that are coming off the top of my head. I'm really looking forward to the future of this series, and I really hope that if you guys did enjoy this, that you make sure to leave a like and comment your thoughts, suggestions, and recommendations on either Disciple Roundtable, or just other labels that you guys want to suggest. Anyways, that's gonna be all from me. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Keep an eye out on videos related to Disciple. I do want to do a couple related to my favorite songs on Disciple and Disciple Roundtable. And aside from that, yeah, hope you guys are having a good day. I'll see you all in the next video. See ya!